High in the misty mountain ranges, a hidden world thrives, largely untouched by humans. Among the dense forests and rugged slopes, wild boars navigate with remarkable intelligence, shaping the land in ways most never notice. Their movements leave clues, trails, broken branches, and disturbed soil that reveal a complex, thriving ecosystem. Today, we step quietly into their domain to observe, track, and understand these remarkable creatures up close. What patterns will we uncover? And how do they survive in such challenging terrain? Join us as we explore the secret lives of the mountain's untamed giants. The early morning mist clung to the forest floor, thick and heavy, as if the trees themselves were holding their breath. Somewhere deep in the mountains, unseen eyes watched every movement, calculating every step, every sound. The air was alive with tension. A distant rustle hinted at something massive moving through the underbrush. These were no ordinary creatures. They were wild mountain boars, their hides thick as armor, tusks curved like ancient weapons, and a cunning instinct honed by the harsh wilderness. Every farmer in the valley knew their reputation. Their raids on crops were swift, destructive, and relentless. Cornfields lay shattered, rice paddies churned to mud, and the quiet farms that dotted the lower slopes had learned fear. Today, we were stepping into that world, prepared to meet the challenge head-on, armed with knowledge, tools, and a respect for these untamed animals. Before we press deeper, I want to remind you to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more incredible wilderness adventures. You won't want to miss what happens next. The first signs were subtle broken branches, muddy impressions in soft soil, and the occasional flattened grass trail. Each clue told a story, whispered by the forest itself. We followed these signs with caution, aware that one wrong move could trigger an explosion of speed and power. The boars were elusive, striking unpredictably, vanishing into shadow as quickly as they appeared. Then, a flash of movement caught my eye. A massive boar charging through a clearing, muscles rippling, tusks gleaming under the weak morning sun. I moved swiftly, adjusting my aim and timing, heart pounding. The shot rang out, and the beast faltered, but it was only a momentary pause. Instinct drove it forward, forcing it deeper into the tangled forest. Each step forward was a lesson in patience. The mountain slopes were treacherous, thick with moss and hidden roots. I could hear distant echoes, a snap here, a scurry there, the faint bark of hounds tracing the scent of the herd. These animals were survivors, elusive and relentless. And as we navigated through the dense foliage, I was reminded of the fragile balance between predator and prey, human and wilderness. Another boar emerged, darting through a narrow pass. Its eyes glinted with intelligence and caution. I fired, and it tumbled into a pile of leaves, a sharp exhalation of the forest confirming the impact. But the hunt was far from over. The terrain itself seemed alive, moving, challenging us at every turn. Halfway through the chase, we paused briefly. Take a moment to smash that subscribe button. If you enjoy these wilderness journeys, you'll get front row access to every thrilling encounter. We adjusted our path, following the deeper trails that led toward the rocky ridges above. The boars' confidence was growing, their patterns unpredictable. We had to anticipate, not react. That meant scanning every shadow, listening to the forest's subtle cues, a rustle, a whisper, a disturbed patch of earth. Then, without warning, a shadow moved across the ridge. It was a colossal boar, larger than any we had encountered, charging straight down the slope toward us. I raised my rifle, steadying my breathing as the beast barreled forward. Momentum built over countless miles of wilderness survival. A single well-placed shot slowed it, but its fury was undiminished. It stumbled, spun, and vanished into the dense trees, leaving only the echo of its presence behind. The dogs worked tirelessly, weaving through the thickets, their barks piercing the mountain air. We followed, careful not to break formation, knowing that patience would pay off. The herd scattered in multiple directions, each animal a study in speed and endurance. I tracked a particularly swift boar, zigzagging between moss-covered trunks, aiming for the perfect moment. When it paused for just a fraction of a second, I fired, and it dropped. The forest exhaled again, a silent acknowledgement of our progress. But even in victory, there was no room for complacency. These creatures always returned, their numbers slowly increasing, their confidence undeterred by human interference. We climbed higher, to where the trees thinned and rocky outcrops dominated the landscape. Signs of the herd were everywhere. Hoof prints pressed into the damp earth, overturned stones, and the remnants of a small clearing flattened by the weight of their movement. It was here that the final chase began. A dark silhouette darted across the ridge, moving with uncanny precision. I followed, heart hammering, rifle ready. The shot rang true, and the mountain seemed to pause in acknowledgement. One by one, the remaining boars were intercepted, their evasive maneuvers unable to overcome calculated precision and tireless tracking. Even as the hunt concluded, the knowledge lingered: the wild boars would return. Nature's rhythm was relentless, a cycle of survival and resilience. Already, distant fields showed fresh signs of their movement: flattened crops, churned mud, broken branches. The mountains were theirs as much as ours, a reminder that the wilderness operates on rules we only partially understand. And as the sun began to dip behind the peaks, casting long shadows across the slopes, I felt the quiet thrill of witnessing raw nature in motion, an experience both humbling and exhilarating. Finally, as we made our way back, wary but satisfied, I want to leave you with this. If you enjoyed following this adventure, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more encounters with the untamed. Every journey brings new lessons, new stories, and new encounters with creatures that test courage, patience, and respect for the natural world. The mountains may be quiet for now, but the next adventure is always just over the horizon.